Hi, this is Sherry Veronica, and I'm going to go through what's in your news. I'm going to copy what they say on TV here in America. I'm going to give you the hot topics, okay? So, Antonia's mom is in your news talking about wanting to find out what happened to her son. Some people are in a daze, some people live oblivious to what they have done, and part of that oblivion is poverty. You seem to want to romance everything, so you think that bringing a child into poverty, oh well, everyone around here is poor, we are poor, we still make it, we're still breathing. Come on, you need to upgrade your thinking. Jessica, you need to upgrade your thinking, okay? And next time, if there are grandchildren involved, or if there's anyone in your vicinity that can hear you speak wisely. Do not birth children into poverty. Work on upgrading your DNA, okay? And on the heels of that, this lady, St. Louis, she has some regrets. And yes, you should have regrets. Kimberly, leave people to raise their children, okay? That's enough of that. This guy, Griffith, he's in the news and he's reporting to you what's going on in the news, and I'm going to pass on him. So then you see there was a blaze in Myers Road, Mylors Hill, St. Michael, and it resulted in 5 people being homeless, including 4 children. So if there are 5 people homeless, including 4 children, that means it was a woman and 4 children. Where are the fathers? Where are the fathers? But the police are asking you to clean up your surroundings. Just clean up around you, and so that there's less combustibles when something goes wrong. You have less to catch fire, and you know what I'm trying to say. Let's move on. Barbados is still denying that they abducted the Trinidad and the Tobago national, but admits that not all procedures were followed. This is in the e-paper, and I think this was reported on yesterday. Sometimes your news lags. It sometimes it could be 2 days behind. Even in the nation, sometimes it's 2 days behind. So you have to forgive me for reporting something that has already been reported, but that's in the news. There was a guy from St. Lucia, who was sent back to St. Lucia. He was deported from Barbados, and I have put out a warning to St. Lucians that he is back on their island, and that they should be on guard because they did not release his name and they didn't show his face. So at least if they know that someone has been back on the island yesterday, the 9th of May 2023, keep an eye out for him. He did something very bad in Barbados. This is Antonio Ryan Miller, and this is what I talked about earlier. His mom is mourning, and like I said, when you bring your children to be in the streets, the streets sometimes come to get them, okay? This barman challenge, this is regarding Richard Chellenham. I already spoke to him in another blog, and it should not be a challenge, okay? It should be part of your laws. This should be part of your laws, that it should be instant disbarment when an attorney has been found guilty and they are, in prison and spent time in prison for a criminal act. This should be part of your laws. And I blogged on that separately. Let's go on. Fire raises home. Okay, this is another article of the same fire that raises home. I'm just going through as they're coming up. Sometimes they're in one paper and another paper, but there's a repeat, but it's just the same thing. Fire raises home, mother and 5 children. NIS BRA payments crucial to economic resilience, says Strong. Yeah, you got to pay your taxes. You have to pay. your taxes and pay into the system, because that same system that you're paying into will pay you when you reach retirement age, and hopefully they won't take your retirement money and invest it in schemes. The word scheme is a bad word in most of the world. Okay, the word scheme is a bad word. It has negative connotations throughout the world, but you like to use it, so go ahead and use it. But let's hope that the scheme that they're using does not come back to bite you. Cancer awareness. Teach children about dangers of unhealthy eating. Really? Seriously? Okay, let's move on. Top honors for Belgian-born neurosurgeon. His name is Paul Steinbach, and he received a prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award. You can read up about him. Task Force for Tourism Innovation. You would think that you know enough about tourism, since it's your main industry, that you wouldn't need a task force for it. You would think that with years under your belt, you would be an expert in tourism and how to sell service industries and how to turn plantations into hotels and how to call slave work employment. You would think that you would be very good at that by now. Belgians, you really, really need to get with it. The CCJ welcomes St. Lucia as a full member of regional court. That means that now within St. Lucia, if someone has an appeal and it doesn't satisfy them at the appellate level in St. Lucia, they can appeal to the higher court in Trinidad, and that will be the last court. That will be the last, whatever the CCJ comes back with in terms of a judgment. There's no other appellate court you can go to. That's the last court of appeals. So yeah, at least now you can have someone outside of St. Lucia hear something that you may, if you think that you were not heard well, or it was misapprehended or misunderstood or whatever, you can take it now to the CCJ in Trinidad and Tobago. Marking Europe Day. I did a blog on this, and this is a shame. Shame on you, Barbadians. Shame on you. This is from Jordan. Every day he writes about his fight against injustices there in Sunset Crest, and I always wondered, how can I put what he's saying to me out there? People think all kinds of stuff surrounding Joe Jordan, but if he can write it, I think that I can find a space on my blog to put it. So here it is. This is from Joe Jordan, and maybe you wouldn't understand it. I myself, it's cumbersome, it's a lot, but at least I do my part, and be it as it may, people think that I should not give him a platform. I do. Okay, use CARICOM arrest warrant. So this is Marshall, your AG, your Attorney General, talking crap. He's saying that the Red Stripe in Barbados did something wrong, but yet he's trying to circumvent the wrongness, and he's trying to make it seem not wrong, and he's trying to worm himself out of a situation, but he knows that you guys don't do any kind of investigations, and you're just haphazard, and it's kangaroo system there. He knows. So let's move on. Motley calls for rethink of tourism. That goes back to what I just said, that you would think that it's something you should be quite trained in doing. Is something that you should be experts at doing. So you let a good person go when you let go Petra Roach. She was really good, but you let her go and she's gone. But yeah, Mia Motley wants you to rethink tourism. Okay, Blaze leave Savlon homeless. I don't know if it's the same one, but it's in another paper. They're different papers. I have The Advocate, I have Nation, I have BarbadosToday. So okay, the city needs a fire station. That's really a shame that there's not a fire station in the city. Okay, it's really a shame. There should be a fire department in the city of Barbados, Bridgetown, Barbados, and we must first repent. I did a separate blog on that. It was Ramel Lawrence that did it. We must first repent. You know how I think about salvation in Barbados, and you can read it on the separate blog. Let's continue. Our restructuring costs 38 million. Is it your money? Because Arawak is stationed there in Barbados, in the north. Is it your money that is part of that restructuring cost, or is it coming from them? You should find out, Barbadians. Find out where the money is coming from for Arawak to do what they're doing. And if it's coming from your money, how are you benefited? How are you profiting? How are you benefiting? When they use your money to do something, there should be interest attached to it. They should be getting the benefit of lending the money to do such big projects. And if there are profits or from the interest money, that should come back to you in terms of, well, not paying as much taxes, like your VAT, decreasing your VAT. They should be working on decreasing your VAT when they use your money as investment money. Okay? Think about it. Sir Richard granted injunction. I blogged on that separately. Let's continue. Let's work together, says Hines. You can read up about it in your newspaper. This was from the NationNews. If you want to read up more about the plan to take youth forward, you can read about that. But they're working with young people. That's the whole gist of this particular article. They're working to help young people on the island succeed. Air service between Barbados Tobago launched. I think this was something that was in your paper a couple days back, but this is from The Advocate, and The Advocate is usually 2 days behind. But yeah, just give them their props still. No request made for extradition. This is still that matter where the abduction and Brent Thomas, it's really not going away, but it's the same matter. And call to value nurses more. You would think that part of your society, especially since you're getting it free, you will really appreciate what nurses and doctors and the medical profession there. You would think that it is respected, but come to think of it, the doctors especially, it's all about the money. It's all about the money for doctors in Barbados. Give nutrition policy a chance. This is something to do with the schools and the school meals and them trying to get kids to eat better at schools. And they're saying that you should give it a try and a chance, because people are saying you can't be looking over children's shoulders and it's unconstitutional and blah. There was a lot of talk about it. No policy that changes the status quo will please everybody. And that is true. That is true. You complain a lot. You must admit that, Barbadians. You do complain a lot. AG says that Bajan cops fell short. We talked about that before. Government will abide by any court decision that finds lawmen legally liable. Now, you can read up about that. I didn't open up what they were saying. I cannot even find it. But they're saying that the government will abide by any court decision. Well, obviously, you should. What is the government? How can you stand against what any court of the land says? Anyhow, abandoned structures are cause for concern. I talked about that earlier, where the fire department people are saying that all these abandoned structures and build up a lot of crap, a lot of just junk around the place. It's bad when a fire starts because you have more ammunition and you don't want to do that. Talking on your cell phone may increase hypertension risks. So what do? Maybe you should pretend you're not on your cell phone. Just put the cell phone down and walk around and do whatever you do and talk to whoever you're talking to and pretend. Trick the mind that you're not on your cell phone. Trick your mind that you're talking to someone that's standing right in front of you. You can trick your mind. So if talking on the cell phone can do that, pretend you're not on your cell phone. Screen women for breast cancer at 40 instead of 50. New guidelines say. Now, if you listen to me, I don't believe in doctors and that kind of stuff, so that ain't going to happen to me. But now they're saying 40 instead of 50, and before they were saying you don't even need it. Before like a couple months, a year back, they were saying, hey, you don't even need it, and then they're saying, hey, we are losing money. That's what I'm saying. This is my opinion. The people that do the screening say we are losing money. Women are not coming to us to get this, blah, 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 blah. And then they say, okay. Well, okay. they can go back. In fact, we'll even make that money that you lost. We'll make up for that money that you lost. So instead of it being 50, we're going to say 40, so that all that time that you lost, not having people coming, since they're coming at younger ages, you can make up for all that money lost. It's all a money game, okay? Money game. Dry spell worry. Okay, you know what that's all about. The rain and, crop and, the fires that starts because everything is so dry. So yeah, there would be a worry. Tourism on track. New data shows strong start to 2023. You should see the people on the island. And it's not only seeing the people on the island. The question is, are they spending money? That is really the ultimate question. Are tourists spending money in Barbados? Okay, let's go on. I think that's it. That's basically what was in your news. I don't see anything else. The life is tough for some people in Barbados. This sargassum seaweed project. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that. They need their jobs back. They need to be working, and we need to spend more time thinking about the elderly, children, women, the poor in Barbados. You need to make sure that those particular areas are taken care of, because if you do not take care of the women and children, what future are you looking to have? Okay, this is what's in your news. This is Shay Veronica.